Welcome in to Dumke Field at Westminster College, side of the 4A Girls Lacrosse Semifinal. Our first matchup of the day, the Waterford Ravens taking on the top-seeded Bear River Bears. Thank you for joining us, everyone. My name is Dane Stewart. David versus Goliath, right? This is Bear River, most people's preseason number one in 4A in a semifinal. Waterford finished the year 6-6. 2-2 in region, got a nice opening round win over Skyview. And look, you play the game, you see if you can't figure out a way to upset the heavily favored Bears, but we'll see what Waterford has in store in a tough matchup today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just coming into this draw, Waterford's got height on them, so hopefully that height will take advantage for the draw.
We have seen in our 6A semis, one underdog was successful, the other was not. And draws, possession, and limiting turnovers seem to be critical in both those two matchups. We'll see what Waterford has today as Bear River, your defending state champs, 15-1. What a year. Offense all over the field. We saw them against Brighton in a game earlier this year. They won that game in overtime. But on the draw, it is Waterford, and Ella Wismer able to win it. Best offense today, Mia Chow. 59 goals for Chow on the season for Waterford, and she could probably stand to get 8 or 10 today if Waterford wants to try to make an upset bid.
Yeah, I bet they are definitely going to do their best to try.
This is Chow with it, working in the middle and scoring. Waterford taking the 1-0 lead. Call the press. Bear River's trailing.
That's unusual to see.
I'm just teasing Bear fans, you know. But that's a nice take there by Mia. Talking about her 60th goal of the year, and that's the kind of start Waterford needs in a matchup like this.
Exactly. Well, Bear River's just such a strong team. To see that is very rare. So it just brings, your recognition to how good this is starting out for Waterford.
Well, you talk about a strong team for Bear River. 5 players with over 30 goals. Marley Kierstead has 67 on the season. Shelby Wilkinson with 42 and a plethora over 30. It's a very balanced offense, an offense that has a lot of different players that can contribute, and it has got a lot of depth to it.
Yeah, MD was just called, so will be awarded to Waterford.
We'll see if the Ravens can just stall for the next, 49 minutes or so?
It's possible, I guess.
Waterford back on possession here. This is Jessica Jordan. And we should mention, not to undersell Waterford, it was a 4-5 matchup in the quarterfinals, taking on Skyview. Beat them 15-5. Handled that matchup pretty well, did the Ravens. Here's Rauscher with a shot, and that one came off. Couldn't tell if that was saved away by Reeder, or if that hit off the pipe. Regardless, doesn't go in, and Bear River with a transition opportunity. Look at the number for Bear River. Here's LaCroix. Space in front for Jenna. The shot, the goal. Bear River ties it up.
That was great. We started there with the goalie all the way to Shelby Wilkinson, left with LaCroix for a great rip for the back of the net.
And when we talk about depth and talent, Exhibit A. You get a stop on one end, the outlet to the middle, and it's Jenna LaCroix to finish.
A, B, and C. We got goalie, Shelby, and LaCroix. That is a whole alphabet right there with talent.
Big answer there for Bear River, 1-1.
I love the energy that, these teams have. It's very fun.
And it's a 4A semi. Waterford, for most other sports, 2A. Mm-hmm. And for lacrosse, they play up in 4A. But it's awesome to see crowds come out. Bear River, people made the trek down here from Garland to support the Lady Bears. Here's Rauscher bringing this up. Boy, lost that. Trying to walk a tightrope, and here comes Bear River again. Sydney Cummins. Plays over with LaCroix. Back to Cummins, right in front, and the finish for Bear River, 2-1.
That was great. The flag was up, but they were able to get that pass over to Sid, and it was beautiful. Cummins had a soaring goal to the back of the net and ended very well for that cut.
And that's the hard thing. We talk about the talent. Cummins gets rid of that ball. LaCroix has it. Everyone slides over to defend her. Sydney's left alone.
That's a draw and dump, my friend. You are A give and go. That's what it is. A give and go. You give your partner the ball, and then you go through, get it back, and get a goal.
2-1 Bear River.
I do have to say, this Waterford team is very different than what we saw early in the season, I believe, against Bountiful.
There's a whistle here.
Over, going to Waterford.
Staying here. So Bear River with the possession. LaCroix. This will be, I would think, an important aspect of this game, right? Can you stop Bear River in their offensive sets? We've seen transition. That's been 2 for 2 for the Bears, but can you execute defensively?
That's something that they just got to really capitalize on. We did Bear River versus Brighton not too long ago, where the favor was into Bear River, where they took that win. And I'm sure that Coach Whittle was very smart and watched that game film, just kind of learned from that, and hopefully take those pointers into this game.
Working in front, picked off there. I think it was Lily Schwartz that came in and able to get the possession for Waterford. Starting goalie today, Mary Brennan, the freshman for Waterford, between the pipes in this semifinal. Meanwhile, we already mentioned Hasley Reeder made a nice save. This intercepted in front. LaCroix for her second goal.
Yeah, it went from Marley to LaCroix. Marley was able to catch that ball because it was just a little bit tall on that clear. Catch that and get it over.
Just relentlessness from Bear River.
Oh, certainly so. And, Bear River, it shows by their stats. Their stats are almost as high as their goals. So many stats throughout the team with so many different score takers. They're so unselfish. They keep their heads up. Overall, doing really good over these last few seconds.
Here's a selfish plea. All we have is stats that get entered into Max Preps, Desert News, that sort of thing. According to stats reported, Bear River as a team is shooting .584. That's a pretty good clip for a team.
Yeah, no, it really, truly is. I think they're a strong team. They're very spread out, and, they're not one-sided. Their defense is just as strong as their attack.
Here's Lorimer. Bear River working behind here with Wilkinson. Shelby working around. Flag up there.
Yep, stick to body contact. Shelby will begin that first inside. She is a right-handed player, and knowing her, she's probably going to run it in.
Shelby, the sophomore, talking about 42 goals for her. Coming in. Oh, nice. Collapse down there. That'll be the call.
Yep, I think that was a push as well as just signaled by the lower ref. Taking her into the center hash.
Well, the clock you see on your screen, unofficial. At times we'll stop it early, start late, that sort of a thing. Coming in, bounce shot. That might have hit the pipe. Bear River still on it.
Looks like an ISO's kind of setting up. Waterford was smart and sent that second defender over just in case.
Here's Wilkinson. Good slide there to take that away from Shelby.
3 seconds.
Call here, yeah.
3 seconds major foul. She was between the 8 and the 12. She will be on the 12. It will clear the lane. That's where you can see the other officials kind of going forward to try and let her know just how to be on the outside of the lane for her.
There's Shelby Wilkinson.
Taking on 4 defense, was able to get stopped.
He gives that with Marley Kierstead. Marley trying to work in, boy, and again, you see Waterford have been physical today on a lot of those dodges.
Yeah, that's something, I feel like Bear River may not be as used to as some of the other teams that they've played in the past have been not as physical as Waterford. But Waterford still keep it pretty clean. There has been a couple of fouls, but their intensity stays high.
Here's Kierstead. Marley coming in again.
Yep, we got, I believe that was a push. She'll begin that center hash.
This will be Marley straight away. She'll take an earlier shot, and Kierstead able to score it for Bear River.
Yeah, a few steps in, pulls her stick up, able to release it to the back of the net for a great goal.
That's the thing, right? I mean, if they're going to body you, then just take the shot before they can get there.
Exactly. Well, honestly, that's what you got to know as a player. Is I try and run it in, and she's getting ping ponged around the field. Curl it back, take a couple of shuffle steps, and shoot it in.
For the draw. Mickelson has been great on the draw this year for Bear River. And this draw is being kicked around. And it'll be Bear River possession here. And the player taking the draw is actually wearing number 26. That'd be Gracie Page. I have her listed as a freshman, so not certain if that's right. We're going to roll with what our roster says because that's all we have, but Appreciate your patience if we're getting anything in error. Here comes Jessica Jordan.
Cummins picked that up at the ground ball.
Still loose. Gathered here by Marley. Here's Kierstead.
Three seconds.
So this will be Wilkinson starting it here behind goal.
Good check from behind.
Tell you, Waterford, they've not played intimidated today.
No, they're not intimidated at all.
Trying to keep it. Boy, Wilkinson somehow comes through with that one. Still on it. A shot on the goal.
Yeah, that was some back and forth, in and out of the eight. Lots of dodging, lots of tucking, and being able to finally finding the back of the net. You know, Shelby had that for at least a minute or more, trying to get that back of the net.
I apologize. I thought that was Shelby.
It wasn't Shelby?
They said Marley.
No, that was Shelby.
It was Shelby, right?
It was Shelby. There we go. Okay, it just corrected. Yeah, that helps.
I thought it was Wilkinson. Anyway, I had to do a double take there.
Yeah, you're good. Oh, it's 8 and 9. It's hard to see sometimes.
Yeah.
Hold. The ball be awarded to Bear River. LaCroix will be the starting.
Here's Lorimer. Over with LaCroix. Jenna.
Shooting space. I think it's right. Yep, right there on that hanging hash.
So be LaCroix again to start it.
I mean, if you're the fans, it's LaCroix, I think is what they're saying. I think that must be her nickname.
Jenna coming in, trying to skip over to Marley. Picked up here by Cummins. Nice job keeping that in there. Shot and a goal. And this is Mackenzie. It said on our roster it's 28. I think she's wearing 26 today. Mackenzie Mickelson with a goal.
Yeah, Nicholson had a very strong goal. She was able to take that almost a crease roll, take that pressure on defense and rip it to the back of the net.
Timeout is a strong start from the top-seeded Bear River Bears in the 4A semifinal. Welcome back. First half, Dane Stewart, Kenzie Christiansen with you. What a start from Bear River. 6-1. Waterford scored the first goal of the game. Been a strong run from Bear River. I think we expected that would likely be the case, and it's played out that way. Balanced scoring, 5 different goal scorers for the Bears here in the opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, but Waterford jumped that line just a little too early before that possession signal was signed.
Here comes Lorimer.
Yeah, she'll be getting pulled back to the 12.
Over with LaCroix.
They're going to keep it slow and steady.
Patience here from Wilkinson. Oh, nice cut right in front. Guess who? It's Marley with the goal.
Yeah, it was a beautiful duo. You know, Wilkinson had that drag, popping in and out a few times, and then able to look up and see Marley catch that backside of the Ravens ponytail.
Bear goal number 9, Shelby Wilkinson, assisted.
I mean, the last time we were seeing Bear Rivers against Brighton, as we were talking about, Marley didn't get a goal until the overtime. And so to see more action from her here is super exciting. You know, I've seen her play before. She's an amazing player. And just to see more out of her in this game than the previous games we've watched is really great.
Well, and I think you expect stars to come up in big moments, big games, semifinal, big moment, big game.
Exactly.
Yeah. They've certainly been there for Bear River today. Draw possessed by Waterford. Been a while since they've had possession. And Howard bringing it ahead. See if the Ravens here can put something together. Howard able to recover that. You know, for our Waterford faithful, we'll have a reference to a state record in the next game, but it's still being held good and true by the Waterford alum. That's single season goals record, 146, I believe, 143 for Jamison Meyer.
Yeah.
Her history at Waterford.
Yeah, I was able to watch Jamison Meyer a handful of years ago. She was super talented. She's now at Navy, so it's awesome to see, this team's slowly progressing to that talent.
And that record appearing safe for another year, unless Juan Diego puts together a couple of impressive games for Olivia Prosper, as this one's saved here by Hasley Reeder, the senior for Bear River. Bear River looking to escape here. Pearson working up through Tabitha Hansen.
No lack of speed on
her.
Boy,
look at that. Just weaving through traffic. Hansen will retreat back to her defensive positioning as Bear River setting up shot. That was just high, backed up here.
I like that she's taking the opportunity to try and shoot from nearly the 8. Why not, right? If you got the lane, try and rip it. When I say lane, it doesn't mean always physical lane. There's probably defense there, but if your stick has a lane too, take it.
Here's Mickelson. Mickelson, a pair of defenders around her. She'll give to LaCroix. Working back direct to X.
Yeah, that's going to be stick-to-body contact. I think that's pretty clear to most of us. Then she'll be getting that 8-meter hash.
This will be Shelby. Hanging hash. Feed in front. LaCroix, the goal.
Just so deceptive. I totally thought Shelby was just going to tuck that stick under and take it in, but we had, was that LaCroix? LaCroix cut her way through and to finish with the goal.
Third goal for the senior Jenna LaCroix. Talk about that first round win for Bear River. Had a region opponent, 21-0 over Logan. And that's where it was interesting going through lineups. We had a coach in the state who looked and was like, is that their GV squad too? Like, because it's a deep roster. There's there's a great lacrosse culture at Bear River right now.
Oh, certainly so. I mean, they do a lot of their own sports filming, and the energy that's through that and through their fans is just amazing.
But just the engagement. We had a chance. We listened to Coach Webb before the season started and how he's built this program. And
yeah.
you love the fundamentals he's brought, the character he's brought to that program. It certainly led to great on-field success and the ability to grow the program at a small school like a 4A Bear River. It's been fun to see them have such success.
Yeah, Coach Webbs has, one of his daughter, I think, is at SVU. I think she might be a goalie. And then he has one in the youth program that'll be, sailing up to right here with Bear Rivers High School.
Here's Lorimer. Check, we'll bring it back out here. Bentley will start it.
You got some time on their hands, might as well work it around.
Shelby. Nicholson got that angle.
I believe that was just called on shooting space. She'll be getting an 8-meter opportunity. Hopefully get a little more on board.
Nicholson scored earlier. A start, going low and scoring. Second of the game for Mackenzie.
Goal 26, Mackenzie Nicholson.
That's a great goal, 8-meter opportunity, taking a straight down lane, planting it right at the back of the net on that low side.
Ten to play here in this first half. Been Bear River's day.
Yep, 8-point differential already. Waterford does have talent, though. They do have some really good stick skills. They just need those opportunities and those extra little, push maybe. I'm not quite sure the word to use there, but just to get that next level.
Well, I think just having the depth of talent, right? A school with a smaller enrollment like a Waterford,
yes, sure.
Having the depth to deal with the amount of offensive talent Bear River has, it's just not walking the hallways, right?
True.
It's just to have that much defense and athleticism, it's hard to find. It's what makes this so incredible from Bear River and what they've been able to build here.
Very, very true.
And you talk about Bear River. We did the Bear River Brighton game. That's a 5A semifinalist. We'll see later today. Bear River beat them. So this is not just a school beating up on a bunch of smaller schools. They go play some of the bigger schools and have found
it was like
a lot of success.
1 or 2 point differential with also a Corner Canyon at the beginning of their season. Went to that game, freezing cold. But they definitely played some hard teams too. Like you just said, some lighter, competition and some heavier competition.
Yeah. Here's Lorimer. Working over LaCroix. Quick movement here in front. Oh, shut down. Nice save there by Brennan. Oh,
Yep, a block.
That was Holly Miles who was running that out. She'll start it with Waterford. Just lost the line there. Playing golds today. We've seen our third game of the day. We've seen one or two of those. Here's Mickelson. Sadie Adams. We'll work it up with J.C. Larkin.
Came in a calm out here. Stadium's calm, field is calm, not much is going on. You hear Coach Webb over there yelling, but that's just about the only voice you're hearing. Got that stick to body contact, I believe is what you're saying.
And we've seen some hard checks early. I mean, that's the way you kind of get rid of that, right? As you start calling that a little bit earlier.
Exactly.
Right in front, Mortimer finishing it for Bear River.
Very smart. You know, she stayed there after her cut, waited for that assist to come to her, turn, and, you know, just make a goal, score a goal.
Goal number 33, Bentley Lorneman. The assist was from Marley Kirsten, number 8.
Kirsten with the assist. Almost have a 10-goal separation here just in this first half.
Really like listening to Coach Whittle on the sideline. She's very encouraging, helping her team throughout the whole defensive end, saying like, yo, that was a good slide, or whatever she's saying over there. It's just very reassuring her team that they're doing good and there's good moments throughout, regardless of the points on the board.
Well, and that's, I mean, in this kind of a situation, that's what it becomes about, right? Is that, hey, we're still teaching fundamentals. We're still helping understand principles of game, concepts, how we want to execute our strategy. Hand it off. Larkin turning around. Boy, look at all the Waterford defenders there. Three? Yeah.
3 seconds. Yep, so 3 seconds. If you're not aware of it, it is a player that's standing inside the 8 for 3 seconds or more, just taking up space. That is a major foul. So it will be a whistle start on the 12.
Larkin. Back to X. Here's Mickelson. Oh, maybe caught her off guard.
I don't think Charlie was expecting that at all.
No, I don't think she was either.
She'll laugh about it later, hopefully.
I'm guessing if they're successful today, successful Thursday, Friday that will probably be a joke.
Yeah.
But until then,
well, she just won those seconds back as she was able to intercept that pass between the Waterford players.
Wilkinson.
I mean, her whole team is just kind of chilling around, sticks in one hand. Wilkinson's running the show for a moment.
Boy, and JC was maybe caught a little bit there. Trying to keep that here are the Bears. And push there, we'll give it here to Waterford. Nice juke there by Howard. Here comes Ann. First opportunity for Waterford in a while. Howard. Yeah, the contact there.
Yeah, it did look like she hit her head from my angle. It may have looked like she kind of ran into that, but again, that's from my angle. My angle is different than what actually happened.
This will be Howard.
She'll be getting that second inside for the 8-meter opportunity as there was a foul on the play.
Just taking a moment here and to collect herself. Howard coming in and lost that on the attempt. Ground ball in the circle.
Crease violation.
Yep.
What player got the crease violation? Oh, okay, there she goes. Yeah, crease violation, they do have to stay behind.
We've seen Bear River do that a couple times. We've covered them this year.
Yep, giving that deputy. That's what that's called, allowing someone to run into the crease and take it back. Or goal circle.
Here comes Pearson. She's had Marley in front of her. That pass was just a step behind as Marley will gather it here. Here's Lorimer. Lorimer coming near side to Cummins.
I want to know their tactic right now. I want to know what's going on in their head because, as you said we saw a minute ago, they're just kind of relaxed and Shelby missed the pass, so they're just super calm, trying to figure out what's going on in their heads. Are they running down time? Are they waiting for a play, getting touches on ball, just trying to calm the defense? Coach Webb, what are you coaching out there? Let me know.
I think some of it's a little bit of all of that. Worked inside. Oh, good opportunity and scored. It's JC Larkin with her first.
Beautifully done. Had a great stick work, able to capture that in the air. Keep that stick ahead of her as she was able to shoot. A little bit of an off-shoulder kind of twist kind of shot.
JC Larkin. The pass from number 40, Sydney Cummins.
With that, clock running here. We were a little behind, so we're just going to let ours catch up here as we approach 2 to play in the half. 11-1 Bears. Off the draw, Lorimer has it. Here comes Lorimer. Works around and scoring for Bear River.
Catching that off the ground ball in the midfield, working its way downfield for a low shot. Great job.
90 seconds left here as Bentley Lorimer scooping up off the draw. Running down, scoring. How about 7 different goal scorers for Bear River today, just in this first half?
Yeah, they're not afraid to pass the ball. They're not afraid to let their teammates all take a chance.
36th goal of the year for Lorimer, the senior. As we have 1 minute to go here in the half.
Empty. Going over to Waterford.
Here comes Chow.
Sometimes you can see coaches and their players in that cradle. Reminds me of Megan Whittles. She was able to have that just control. It looks like how she plays, and that's cool to see that, her time with the team is definitely wearing off on him.
Mia plays this out. Here's Jessica Jordan. Good help there, Mia. We'll work back to X here with Wismer. Inside 10 to play here in the half. Recovered by Waterford, 5 to go. Final seconds running off, and Waterford won't get a look. Strong first half from the top-seeded Bear River Bears. They lead Waterford 12-1 in the 4A semifinal. Welcome back to Dumke Field at Westminster College. Start of the second half of the 4A semifinal. Bear River leading Waterford 12-1. Been a dominative half, and I think most probably expected that in this 4A semifinal.
Yeah, but Bear River's just a super strong team. Waterford was able to get that first goal off, but Bear River answered very well and has continued answering that full first half.
Bear River conceded their first goal of these state playoffs in the opening minutes. In fact, they trailed.
Yeah,
But they don't trail anymore.
Exactly.
Here come the Bears. It's Marley right in front and scoring. Third goal of the game for Marley Kierstead.
Marley was able to cut the backside of that defender, catch that ball, and just rip it to the net.
We saw it early on, Bear River getting some of their attackers behind this Waterford defense. It was transition early. That one's off a draw. Same result. Marley slipping behind the D, and it's done.
Exactly.
In fairness, in nature, usually a Bear's going to beat a Raven anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I don't have anything to say to that, but you are correct.
In nature.
Yes.
That's a tough fight for the Bird.
Yeah.
Off the draw. Captured. Nice job there by Mia. You know, that is one thing. Mia's a sophomore. We see Brennan and Kate. She's a freshman. There's some youth here with Waterford. Nice turn there by Mia. How about the goal?
Beautiful way working her stick. She went through I think 2 or 3 checks that she was able to contain her stick, doing some roll dodges, a little bit of some juking, and got her way to the net.
Chow scoring her second today. I like the answer there.
Yeah, it was a great answer. They were able to, they switched it up a little bit on draw. Maybe that's what's going to make the change from the second half.
In fact, Mia taking draw here. Talk about Mia coming into the game, had 59 goals, 61 now. The only other goal scorer in double figures, according to stats reported, is the junior, Anya Rosher. So, again, it's not a real deep Bear River offense.
No.
You need your stars to come out. Mia with a pair here today. This is Rosher here. This is Howard with it.
They're playing zone backer with Bear River.
Saw that a lot against Brighton as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you see a lot of lateral movement by Waterford trying to break down that backer.
Certainly so, yeah. Trying to get those cuts all through.
Chow
getting assists going.
had 3 Bears around her. A whistle here. Mia from the hanging hash will start this. Coming in right in front and scoring. Third goal for Chow.
All right, it was a goal, but they will be awarding the Ravens the ball at the draw because of that push on goal. Yeah, what's that, her third for the game?
Yeah.
I mean, just keep that energy going up. You just might be able to close this gap a little more.
You know, that's one of the things we talk about Bear River in the close of that first half. Kind of pulled that ball out. You could kind of tell there was some patience there and moving the ball around, taking time off. And you were like, I'm not certain if what they're trying to do, maybe they're draining clock, maybe they're trying to get the D stagnant. And that's part of, we see this in other sports too, where it's like sometimes when you take your foot off that pedal early, it can be hard to keep that fire ignited. I don't think that's the case here, but I love that Waterford hasn't, folded either. Right? They've come out and said, hey, let's keep attacking.
Exactly. Keeping that composure, keeping that level-headedness is just going to be able to help them throughout the rest of this game.
Waterford back with possession. This is Wismer. Cut it right through. And was trying to get that on the wing. The call here.
Yeah, so there was girls, right next to her, able to get that slide, but unfortunately they did get double stacked, and that second person got that shooting space.
Howard coming in, the shot, and that is wide, but a whistle here. We'll do it again. In the first half, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm interested to see if she's going to try and take the same shot or if she's going to mix it up.
Let's say in that first half, we saw a lot of physicality from Waterford on this north end.
Yes.
Now it's Bear River with the physicality. Something's got to be on the north end of that field, Kenzie.
It's got to be a little spunky over there.
Yeah. Coming in, shot saved away. Nice save from Reeder. That was still in play.
It is not.
Oh.
So when she goes out of bounds and picks it up, her feet are out of bounds. Just as if you're running down the sideline, your stick might be on the inside the line, but if your feet are out, you're out. And that's exactly what happened.
Inside of 20 to go here. Jordan picking it up, maintaining it here for Waterford. Looking for help with Wismer. Boy, good idea trying to get it there to Rauscher. Ground ball. How about the recovery by Mia Chow? Waterford.
I haven't seen really any plays from either of these teams quite yet.
Let's go, Hayes, be
And Howard trying to get around the D there. Pearson drawing the call. And look, this is exactly what you want to do if you're Waterford, right?
Exactly. Trying to get any opportunities to shoot is exactly what you want. Right-handed player on the left side hash. I'm interested to see if she's going to try and sell it over to, looks like number 12 might be open, or number 4.
Yeah, Rauscher. It is Rauscher, the shot, and that was just wide, backed up here. A goal here, you're out of the running clock rule.
That is true. But no, it's still 10-point differential.
But if they scored here, it would only be 9.
Oh, yes. Okay, sorry. Misunderstood.
Here's Jordan. We'll work back to X. Lost it. Picked up by Lorimer. Bentley working ahead. Larkin recapturing. JC with a head of steam. Larkin the shot, and boy, the late stick check there. Sailed that high, and Larkin will have the start.
All right, she'll be taking that second inside for the 8-meter opportunity.
Larkin. Shot. Scoring. JC with her second today.
Waterford got a little tip of that stick, but not enough to be able to stop that score.
Way to go, Bird!
28th goal of the year for Larkin. Junior for Coach Webb. Tell you right now, it's shaping up for a nice drive back to Garland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Garland. Oh, Garland. That's where Bear River's from. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always think they're a different area. But yes. They'll have a happy bus ride back.
The Bear Caravan will be joyous as well. See if there's some horns honking on I-15.
Yeah. If you hear some random screaming and some joy, you're headed
Bear River
north.
fans on their way up north. This draw back, captured by Howard. And we'll continue on. Out of the air, taken by Richard. Numbers here for Bear River. LaCroix finding another gear. Open shot and a goal. Jenna LaCroix.
Yeah, ducking underneath that defense. She had two ahead of her, one behind her, 3 in total. And she was able to rip it right next to that goalie's right-hand shoulder.
We're going to get a goalie change here for Bear River. An opportunity to get some minutes is Hasley Reeder, the senior. .615 save percentage coming in. Her day looks to be done, and it will be Sadie Pebley, the sophomore, coming on.
Oh, I love the Bear River fans.
I'll tell you, if this is the culture in a semifinal, we got to go up and do a game at Bear River, huh,
yeah.
Kenzie?
Oh, yeah. They're fun. They're a fun bunch.
I've done soccer at Box Elder. I know that them hating words in Bear River country, but I love fans up north. Like,
They're
you get
fun.
up in that county, it's great. How about the ball movement and the finish? It's Sydney Cummins for her second today.
Yeah, I thought she was almost going to miss that pass, but she was able to catch it and rip it, pull it up and rip it to the back of the net on that goalie's right-hand hip.
I'm talking about sometimes when you back it out maybe a little early, you lose that fire. No fire lost today for Bear River. In case there was any doubt, no fire lost.
Well, but every single player, they're all wanting to get some touches on ball. You know, nothing's more exciting than be able to have your name set out on this was a semifinal game.
The great Dan Barney doing PA today
Yeah.
for our lacrosse semis. Love Dan. In fact, when I was early on in this business, Dan and I would call a couple games together. Old
Really?
Dan Barney. Yeah. Always fun to hear Dan Barney on PA. Of course, he's from up north. Lived and taught in Weber School District for years. Retired here, does great PA work with the UHSAA in their state tournaments. Another draw win here for Bear River and another goal. And this one scored by Marley.
Yep, she was able to get that stick crossbody, do an off-shoulder goal to sell it right to the right-hand shoulder of the goalie.
17-3, the advantage for the Bears. Back to the draw. Kenzie, I'll ask you this question. We've got another semifinal, Mountain Crest and Juan Diego. Does anyone challenge Bear River? Is there a matchup between those two that you think maybe can slow down the Bears?
Okay, slow down. Yeah, okay, slow down would be Mountain Crest is my thought.
And why is that?
I've just seen them play. There's a lot of level playing field for their seniors at Mountain Crest. And I think, with their connection, they'll be able to at least slow down Bear River as they progress into the end of the season.
As in they take away the transition or match up with their speed? Or?
Yeah, I think it would be more they're able to match up with their attacking speed. I think their defense and Mountain Crest will be able to slow down the fast breaks, quite a bit more and help out there.
That's been a killer today, right? From the get-go. The transition that we've seen from Bear River and that speed getting behind the defense has been tough because you have Brennan going one-on-one with some of the top goal scorers in the classification, and those are tough battles to win.
No, that's very true.
Come up with Waterford. Yeah. Block?
Huh?
Is that a call, a block?
Yeah, it was a block, it went through hips, but I think he called a push.
Okay. This one turned over. Here comes Larkin. I think Jason's been great today for Bear River. Lorimer.
Is it just me, or is the Bear River girls wearing all different shorts? Might be.
Are they?
We got 33 and a stripe on the side, and I think everybody else's has a black shorts. Which doesn't matter as long as they're unified for like 90% of it. I think it's fine. Rulebook may say differently, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, there's a little white piping there, right?
Mm-hmm. You never know what happened for the.
It's just to tie the jersey together, isn't it?
Exactly.
I'm just teasing.
That was
There's
great.
Lorimer, bounce shot just wide.
That was a great cut on the backside, a little give and go, and she went in for that goal.
Waterford. Chow. Body there. Gets it to Rauscher.
Defense, let's go defense!
Waterford with a chance to set up here as we approach 10 to play. Want to remind you the 4A state championship will be Thursday. Zions Bank Stadium set for 5:30. Come on out to Zions Bank. Watch the 4A final. If you can't, we'll have it for you right here on KSLSports.com. Sent to Chow. Chow the shot and the save from Pedley. Bear River. Bring it out here with Hanson. And the call there. This is going to draw stoppage and a card.
I think she assigned misconduct.
Oh, how about the heave? Given up to Larkin. Larkin with an opportunity, the shot in the goal.
She had such speed, able to get her arms up and free with not much contact on her, and ripping it to the ankle of that goalie.
I mean, how often do you see the three-quarter length of the field pass and the ability to dodge around one defender, finish it?
You know, that's my type of play.
That good.
Yeah, that was amazing. That's my type of play. I'd rather pass that ball versus running it. It is hot out on that field on that turf.
I mean, McCune at Lone Peak had to run the length of the field.
Oh,
Bear River, we just throw it over the top.
Yeah, no, I like Bear River's tactic if I was out
teasing.
there playing. But, yeah, no, it's great. Both
You have a
teams-
lot more energy after Bear River's tactic, that's for sure.
That's
Not
for
having to
sure.
sprint down 100-plus yards.
That's very, very true. Yep, a redraw.
Yeah.
We have a veteran referee out here. That's Andy. Andy refs both boys and girls and is loved on all sides. Andy's a very loved official as he's been around for many years.
In fact, we've got officials having to do multi-game duty today as Bear River coming up and scoring. This one is Charlize Southwick, the sophomore, with the Bear River goal.
That was a great job. She came down the center of the pie over there and was able to get that bottom left ankle for a great slick shot.
Bear River goal number 43, Shaylee McKee.
You know, and I'll just take a moment. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but hey, here we go. We had 6A games earlier today.
Yeah.
And we had, fans chiming in on calls and things. I think the officials have done a really good job.
I think so, too. I really think so, too. You know, we've had another game where I totally missed the call, didn't see it as an off-ball call, and it got called, and we did a playback on it, and the officials called it correctly. The whole fans were, upset about it, but once you go back and you replay it on your guys' end, you're able to see that foul happen. So I think the officials, as always, can see more than what we can see up here in the stands.
Yeah, and again, we've got officials that are hanging out doing multiple games today as we have 6 semifinals in 4A, 5A, 6A. We've got a timeout taken here for substitution purposes, I believe. But regardless, we'll step aside. Be back. You're watching the 4A semifinal on KSLSports.com. Welcome back here. Start here with Bear River. Been in control for the duration. They did trail. We told you to alert the media, but that was a false alarm as they've taken significant advantage here. We'll have a start here for the Bears.
It looked like she signaled a shooting space, which will give the second inside to Marley. Yep, a false start. That'll send both players behind. It does look like a Waterford player is going to step up in that spot. Just
a practice shot there for Marley. This one will be for real. And same result. Marley able to score an off-the-bounce shot.
Yep, beautifully done. Be able to take it in like by 1 or 2 steps and get a bouncer in.
Goal, Marley Kierstead, number 8.
You know, they're walking kind of slow back to that starting line, which is completely fine. It is stop clock right now. Oh, it's not stop clock right now. It's running clock. So it's going to take up some time from everybody. But Bay River's plenty ahead. They need the rest. And, you know, Waterford is just going to be able to take their time, recoup after every goal, and just get ready for the next.
On the draw here. We'll tease this one up. Mountain Crest Juan Diego, our next 4A semifinal. That game scheduled to start at 3 o'clock. You can watch that right here. As Bear River fans might want to have a look at who their eventual opponent may be. When you look at that game, Kenzie, Mountain Crest Juan Diego, you talk about Mountain Crest, their style. What is maybe most intriguing in that matchup to you?
I want to see Olivia Prosper, I think her last name is.
Correct.
Yeah, no, she has so many goals.
121 as a sophomore.
I mean, just a few.
Yeah.
So just a few goals that, you know, really just want to, I've never seen her talent. I haven't seen their talents this year, so I'm really excited to see her talent. I have seen Mountain Crest have been able to play a pretty level game. So just to see how, you know, Mountain Crest is going to answer to such a strong player like Olivia. Are they going to face guard her or are they going to give her space? We'll find out.
It'll be a tough duty, and, you know, it'll be interesting to see because I think we've seen that northern region be really good this year. And, you know, can Juan Diego pull off the seed upset? Can Prosper continue to find her success against those northern teams as, oh, boy.
That's unfortunate.
No
but
kidding, huh?
She's fighting hard to get that moment back.
And the call here will leave it with Waterford. 4 minutes to go. And, of course, we've got 2 more 5A semis after that. 3 more games coming to you as long as the weather holds, which we're keeping fingers crossed and toes crossed and all that we get 3 more games in today with championships on Saturday. We'll also have boys lacrosse semis tomorrow here at Dumke Field. Some of the same teams will have boys representations. Started here by Marley. Oh, boy. Both players to the turf there on that far line in front of the Bear bench.
I cringed because I know how bad turf burn hurts. If that gave him turf burn, I'm so sorry, girls. That does not feel good.
Yeah, that turf is not as soft as it looks.
Oh, Lordy, no. It is. It's rough.
At least it's not AstroTurf. They have made increases in turf, but it's...
Yeah, that's some sandpaper out there for some of these fields.
Ground ball here. Nice touch up there by Hadley as the whistle here.
I keep missing it. I don't know why Waterford's goalie is out. She's been out a few times, but I'm missing something here.
The start here for Kerrigan. Hadley, a sophomore.
Up a legal check. She's going to set up on that first inside for the opportunity.
Officials on top of that one.
Yep.
Kerrigan again. The wind-up, the bounce shot, and the goal. Hey, the sophomore in the scoring column in this semifinal.
That's a great goal, taking it in from that first inside, pulling her stick up. She did have it quite choked up and was able to get a bouncer shot into the goal. As a resetting, I just want to bring attention to these two coaches. You know, the head coaches, we have Jeremy Webb for Bear River. You know, overall been a great coach from youth all the way up into high school. You know, most likely looking at them being in the state championships for the second time in a row. So just great coach on that side. And then, of course, on Waterford as well.
Yeah, we'll touch on Coach Whittle when we come back. Time out here. We'll step aside. Final 90 seconds when we come back. Welcome back. Final 90 seconds.
Yeah, we're touching base about some of these coaches. Flipping the side to Waterford, we have amazing Megan Whittle. You know, she played at Maryland, played for England, is a great player herself. And honestly, she's done a pretty good job trying to get this Waterford team, you know, to that next level. And I think these next few years with her being the coach will definitely show that talent.
I mean, you get to a semifinal, especially with a young group like this, that's a great step for a program that is looking to build.
Certainly so, yeah.
Such a great history, especially on the boys' side at Waterford, and obviously had great players come through. We talked earlier today about Jameson.
Yep, we got 3 seconds. I think we're going to start seeing a couple more stars out here on the field for, you know, Waterford as the years progress. We see a lot of shining moments from number 15.
Yeah, Chow,
yeah. And I think there's a couple other players that are really going to step it up over these next few years.
Started here by Howard. Brennan, a freshman. We talked about her, the starting goalie today. I know it's been tough, but she's dealing with the best scores in the classification and really has had to go one-on-one multiple times. That's a tough job for anyone.
It's very true. It's a hard position to play.
Yep.
Only the strongest woman can do it.
Hanging hash start here for Waterford. His final seconds ticking away. 30 to play. That just wide. Trickling through, trying to be kept in, and is. But got to be careful. Yeah, lost that gold line. We talked about it. Seen it a couple times here today.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, the field's kind of more narrow than what most are used to.
Is it?
I think so. It may be still up to regulation, but it just seems that way.
There's Rauscher. His final seconds coming away. Chow, maybe one more look. That sails, and that'll do it. Bear River, the top seed, with another statement win, this time in the semis as they advance to the 4A state championship. Kenzie, your final thoughts and a selection of the player of the game.
I think I want to pick Marley. Marley Kirsten has had a lot of good looks. There's been great assists from her. She's playing unselfish. She's had some good rise on the attacking end, and I think she's done a really good job. I think I could name 15 other great players on Bear River, but she just kind of stood out to me today with those great goals that she's had and just those assists and the opportunities she's been giving her teammates.
Unofficially 5 goals for Marley today, leading the way for Bear River as a dominative win. They advance back to a state championship for Tino Psyche, Kenzie Christiansen. My name is Dane Stewart. The 4A championship Thursday, 5:30 at Zions Bank Stadium. Come on out or join us here on the stream. The opponent for Bear River to be determined at 3 o'clock right here on KSLSports.com.